Tonight's top stories. The politics of chaos and confusion in Egypt. The High Court rules that the parliament is invalid, and the military leaders of the Supreme Council say they have legislative authority now. We'll get a live report from Cairo. British Prime Minister David Cameron grilled over his relationship with former Murdoch exec Rebekah Brooks, what he told the Leveson inquiry. We're live in London. Plus this. In Syria, more shelling by government forces, while rebels take a lesson from Iraq using improvised explosive devices in their struggle.
Live from CNN Center, you're at the International Desk with Jonathan Mann.
Thanks for joining us. Stunning developments out of Egypt just 2 days before the nation was set to begin voting in a presidential runoff election. A pair of rulings from Egypt's highest court has set off a chain of events that has turned the political system there on its head. Perhaps most troubling, the Egyptian parliament is now said to be invalid, and the country's military rulers say they now have full legislative authority. Senior international correspondent Ben Wiedemann joins us now from Cairo with details. Ben, one leading member of the Muslim Brotherhood's party says it amounts to a complete coup. It is startling, to say the least.
Yes, certainly for the Muslim Brotherhood, the ruling by the Constitutional Court in Cairo is a major, massive blow. The court said that the elections that brought the current parliament to power were invalid, and therefore parliament is dissolved. And of course, parliament was almost 50% dominated by the Muslim Brotherhood. So sort of out of the blue, the Muslim Brotherhood has really lost its biggest foothold to power in the country. Now, the other ruling, which ruled that the so-called political isolation law is unconstitutional, what that means is that former figures from the Mubarak regime, specifically Ahmed Shafiq, his last prime minister, can run for and hold public office, because of course Ahmed Shafiq is running against the candidate of the Muslim Brotherhood, Mohamed Morsi, in the presidential elections, the second round and final round of which takes place day after tomorrow. And Mr. Shafiq, commenting on the decision by the Constitutional Court, expressed satisfaction with what he felt was a vindication of his position, and something that definitely is going to help him in the long run. Jonathan?
Well, it may help him, but I'm curious about whether there are any clear plans from the Muslim Brotherhood, from the party affiliated with it, or from the activists in Tahrir Square. Are they all just going to take this sitting down?
Well, first to Tahrir Square, surprisingly, there really isn't much in the way of protest ongoing at the moment. As far as the Muslim Brotherhood and its political wing, the Freedom and Justice Party, they are busy meeting right now to figure out what will be their next course. In fact, I spoke with the deputy head of the Freedom and Justice Party, and he said at the moment we're too busy to tell you anything. But we did speak to other members of the Brotherhood and the FJP, one of whom said that, in fact, at this point, all options are on the table, including, in his words, pulling out of the presidential race. Now, if the Brotherhood pulls out of the presidential race, the whole situation is up in the air. In theory, the presidential election can go ahead, but if the Brotherhood pulls out and tells its supporters not to vote, it'll be like the old days of Hosni Mubarak, a referendum.